This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Mesa Ridge LTD fifth wheel, and the model number is 264 RLS. Okay, so this is not a excuse me, this is not a floor plan video, it's a how-to video, so I'm just going to go over some of the features and show you how they work, okay? So here we are starting at the door side rear. First thing to note is the type of slide outs you have on here are called Accu slides, just so you know. There are different types, as these are Accu slides. Right here, if you can see it, that's a quick connect for the LP system. So you can connect into the system right there. You have a 4-point leveling system, and it has these attachments called strong arms, as you can see. You see there's a little T-handle there. When you're raising and lowering these jacks, make sure you loosen up that T-handle. There's one on each jack. But once you get it leveled how you want it, then you can tighten them up. It'll take the wiggle away. And but make sure you loosen it before you raise and lower them. Okay. This is a drain right here. It takes a garden hose to type a hose with a garden hose fitting on it in order to direct the water where you want to. You have a refrigerator, obviously. You have this griddle. There's where you turn your gas on and off right there. Okay. You have power awning with an LED strip. Of course, your stairs are adjustable. Pass-through basement storage. There's some stuff on the other side I'll show you, but on this side it's pretty straightforward. You have a total of 60 pounds of LP, so you got two 20-pounders on this side and one 20-pounder on the other side. Just your front storage and battery. Your other 20-pounder. Now, there are two ways to operate the leveling system. There's an outside panel, which is in this compartment here, and then there's a touch panel on the inside. The touch panel has more options, but they both basically do the same thing. So let me start with this one here. Okay. So this does the same thing as the inside panel, except for with this one, or with the inside panel, I should say, you can operate the jacks independently. It just has more features. But here we go. You push both arrows to light it up, like so. The two main functions are auto level and hitch height. Retract all. You don't use it that often. It'll retract every jack and even the landing gear, so it'll nosedive the trailer. It's not going to hurt anything, unless you got something underneath the front of it. But generally, you're going to go with hitch height and auto level. After you unhitch your tow vehicle and pull it out from under the trailer, under the hitch, you'll push auto level, and it'll level the trailer. Then when you're getting ready to leave, you'll push hitch height, and it'll return it to that same position that it was in before you auto leveled it. So it'll always remember the last position. So those are the two that you're going to use almost always. Now this has a power inverter in it. This power inverter is inverters. It has a converter in it and an inverter in it. The inverter takes 12-volt DC and inverts it to 120 AC. So this inverter basically runs your refrigerator. So when you're going down the road, you can run your refrigerator, which is an AC refrigerator, but it'll be running off the inverter. It'll be taking power from the battery, and the battery will be being charged by your alternators or your tow vehicle's alternator. So this is strictly to run the refrigerator. Of course, there's a kill switch for your battery right there. Dump hose and a reducer. Here we have water. Now I mentioned that you have Accu slides, so two of them are Accu slides, but this one here is referred to as a Schwintech. It's owned by Lippert now, but it was owned by Schwintech, who are the people who designed it. And so Lippert has their own name for it now. I can't recall what it is, but people still refer to it as a Schwintek, so that's a different type of slide there. Okay, so your freshwater hookup is right here. Okay, then if you're using city water, let's say, you look at these diagrams here, you got the 3 valves. So this is in the position for city water. It's also in the position to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you need to. So let's say you're going to a campground that doesn't have city water on it. So you have to pre-fill your fresh water tank. So to do that, you'd go like this. You see, that's the configuration there. Now it'll fill your fresh water tank. And then you would put it back to this position and turn on your pump, and it'll pump water out of the fresh water tank. Okay. To winterize it, you do this position. To bypass the water heater, you do it like that. So everything's done right with these 3 valves. These are your dump valves, your black, your gray. Now, the black is toilet water and waste, obviously, and it does have a black tank flush right here. So you can hook the hose at the dump station right onto there, dump your black tank, leave the valve open, of course. It says right here on the sticker, always leave the valve open before you turn on the water. Anyway, so you put the hose on there, you turn it on, and it'll spray the inside of the black tank out. It'll clean off the sensor so you get a really good, accurate reading, that sort of thing. So there's also a coiled sprayer that hooks onto here also. I'll point it out when I see it. I haven't seen it yet, but it's in here somewhere. Okay, and then you have your satellite and campground cable through, and some power up there, okay, and light even. Okay, now this is the water heater. It works on both gas and electric. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn it on. It's important. I just need you to know that there's a switch right here. It's a rocker switch, if you can see it. This rocker switch controls the electric heating element that's behind that cover. So you're going to have switches inside the trailer to operate this. I just want to make sure you know that this one is here, okay? This is where you drain it from. It takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket plus an extension and a ratchet or breaker to break it free. That's the drain. This is actually an anode rod too, so it's long. Okay. Some more low point drains and just some more plumbing here. Now it's a 50 amp system, so it's got a 50 amp cord. We give you this reducer too to reduce it down to a 30 in case you have to. Plus we give you another one to reduce it down to a 20 in an emergency. Okay, so this is pre-wired for a backup camera, so you can see up there. That's where the backup camera will go. If you purchase one, you just get the Furrion camera that fits in that housing, and you'll be all set. The ladder is a great thing because the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. So you want to go up there or have somebody go up there, look at all the sealant, make sure it's good and tight. Make sure no place for water to get in. Make sure none of the roofing attachments were damaged by low branches or road debris, that sort of thing. So you're just giving a good inspection. Odds are you won't have to do anything, but you're inspecting it just to make sure. Okay, so here's your control panel. Lights here. Your water heater, you light it on gas right there, on electric right there. Remember I told you there's a second switch outside, and this is how you turn your water pump on. You use that to pump water out of the fresh water tank. You also use it to winterize the trailer when it's time. You got your 3 slide outs here, you got your awning here, and all your levels like you normally would. Okay, and they graduate up in 1/3 increments. Okay, this device here is your power converter. I showed you the inverter. Remember, the inverter takes 12 volt DC from the battery, inverts it to 120 AC, and sends it to the refrigerator. This does the opposite. It takes AC power and converts it to DC power. So when you're plugged in, it'll take the AC power. This is your distribution center right here. You see you got fuses, circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC down here. You see you got fuses, and they're all labeled. Those are 12 volt. Also, when you're plugged in, this is a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery needs, and as long as you're plugged in, it's going to keep your battery charged. So the alternator on your tow vehicle charges the battery when you're pulling it down the road, and when you're plugged in, this power converter will charge it. All right. Your thermostat is right here. It's very straightforward. You got the mode button, and you just scroll through all the different modes. When they give you an option to run the fan on auto, always choose auto. You have a remote here for your power roof vent here. It's got 3 or 4 speeds. Let me look to see what kind it is here. It is this one I think has 4 speeds. Yeah, right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has 4 speeds. Okay, so obviously this is your range. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on right now, but I'll talk you through it either way. It's very simple. Works like all of them do, basically. You spark it by turning this clockwise. Then you got 3 knobs for 3 burners, and then the last one is your oven. So let me see if you've got it turned on. Yes. So it's that simple. You turn it clockwise and spark it. The oven is a little different in that it has a pilot light all the way at the back there. I can spark it. Maybe you can see it back there. I'm not sure, but it's back there. So you're going to go to the oven knob. You go to pilot, then depress it, right? Then you light it. You spark it till it lights. Once it lights, you hold it in for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature, which is obviously whatever you set it at, it'll cycle on and off. Then when you shut it off, the flame goes up, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. And always keep this top, this bifold cover down when you're traveling. Your microwave works like any other microwave. It has, let's see here. I just want to see what features it has. I think it just probably has, it has a vent, high and low, a light, like that. So, yeah, it works like they all do. Your refrigerator, obviously, is self-explanatory. It's just a refrigerator. Let's see what we have here. So we have theater seats here. These, and they're powered, so you can see you can operate the footrest and that sort of thing. This is a hide-a-bed here. So it's a good one in that it has foam panels on it. You pull these right off, right? And then you set the cushions aside. You grab it down here, obviously, and fold it out, drop the legs, fold it out. And it's a 3-panel bed, so it's actually, it's not like the old hide-a-beds used to be where you got a bar in your back with springs. It's pretty decent. Okay. Regular shades, of course. Whoops, I'm sorry, I'm pointing the camera the wrong way. Excuse my camera work, please. Let me find the switch here. See if I get some more light in here. But to do that, I'll go to the touch panel. Right. I showed you the analog panel, which is right up there. The touch panel is a little different. You control the leveler system, the slide rooms, and the lighting from this panel. So let me see what I can do here. All right, living room ceiling lights, so that'll turn them all on right there. While I'm standing here, you can just look at it here. You have your slides, 3 slides, right? And then you have your leveling system, which is just like the one up front, except it has more options. See if I can get it to come up here with. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so you can see you got the different jacks here. You got retract and extend, auto hitch height, just like you would before, auto level. Those are the 2 most common, remember. But you also can scroll this to auto retract them all. This next one would be manual mode. Whoops, I went too far with it. Manual mode, so you would press enter, and then you can operate the jacks independently of each other. So, and it also gives you your voltage too. The thing about the leveling system, it likes to have high voltage, like 13 volts or above. So keep that in mind. But it just has more options than the one outside. Okay, let's go back down. Now that I have the lights on. Right here, this is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. If it goes off, it's detected carbon monoxide or LP gas. Okay. And also, if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you that the battery's low. It's a low battery alarm. Alrighty. So your TV works like any other TV, and there's storage behind here. Okay, and there's straps to strap it down so it doesn't get damaged during transit. We have more. Let me get get out of there. More storage here. There are remotes for all of these. Here are your remotes here. TV, stereo, and then fireplace. Your keys are right here. Okay. So, the sound system, it's basically it has FM radio, no AM. You can stream off a USB drive, so you could put all your favorite albums, for example, on one of them and take them with you and have your whole collection there and you just plug it in. HDMI here is an in, so you can go into the system with, let's say, a portable Blu-ray player, for example. It has 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone to your tablet. So it does everything you need to do and then some. Now, the fireplace, you can see low, if you can see that L, that's the fan speed. High, and then you have temperature, okay? Now, you also have a timer on it, right? I hope I didn't, let me just shut it off here. So basically, it's a really good space heater. It runs on AC power, so if it's one of those days where it's not cold enough to run the furnace and you have a limited supply of LP, you can run this and take the chill out of it, and you don't have to use your limited supply of LP gas or anything like that. So, okay, and there's the remote. Okay. This is just your stuff here. And here are your, excuse my camera work. Here are your literature. I don't know what that is. It's some stuff. These are for operating your AccuSlides. You can actually go up there and you can plug this onto the motor and put this end on a drill. You can actually run them in and out with a drill if you had to. Okay, you can read the literature to find out more about that. These are just your what would you call them? Tables. Your tables for your theater seating, one on each side. And that actually, if these here that I didn't know what they were, they actually screw into here, so it plugs into these receivers right here. Hopefully that made sense to you. I'm listening to myself. It didn't make much sense to me. So anyway, you have 2 of those. Okay. All right, let me look around in this room here. Like I said, this is a 50 amp system, so it will cool things down with no problem. Okay, so this is you have a backing plate here, and then you have your TV. Keep in mind that this is a signal booster for your digital antenna. You always want it on or you won't get a good picture. You have your wardrobe here, which is also a slide out. Your bed moves up and down and reclines and all that sort of thing. Okay, emergency windows. The bathroom, which is actually pretty big for an RV bathroom, but the sink and shower work like any sink and shower, of course. The toilet is an RV toilet, so you got a flush pedal here. You always have to remember you need to put chemical and water in it before you use it. The black tank is directly below there, right? So after you plug your trailer in and hook up the water, you'll come in here, you'll put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl, then you'll stand on the pedal and let about 1 gallon or so of water. Some people use more. You got to use at least 1 gallon. The main thing is you can't use it dry, because if you do, the smell will be terrible and it can get clogged up. So you always want to start off with a dose of chemical and 1 gallon or so of water. Okay. GFCI is here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. This is pre-plumbed and wired for a washer-dryer combo if you want to do that. Otherwise it's just storage. Okay. Let me see what else we have here, if anything. Okay. Alrighty. So I think that pretty much covers it all. Some of these lights work by master switches. Other ones you have a button in the middle, like that. Keep that in mind. So, okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's one of the most important maintenance things you can do. Your odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but you're just making sure you're protecting your investment. Okay. Right now this is de-winterized, so all the antifreeze has been purged from the system and replaced with fresh water. Your water heater is in camping mode, so it's not bypassed anymore. It's ready to go. It's filled with water, so you're all set. Okay. Thank you.